Hello and welcome to Trails to Azure part 55. Today is going to be the last bit of talking to people around town, and then talking to the people at the Bracer Guild with regards to Arios joining President Qua, the self-instated president of the independent state of Crossbell, who was not elected to be the new president. But yeah, he's the defense minister, so he's running the joint police and military, which is definitely not a troubling concept. But yeah, now it's the special monster. What is this? Divine Delph. I assume I can't pull them. It'd be nice if I could, but they're all gonna die. Ooh, that's not good. Aqua Miraji. I might find like a Curia Bomb and then F-Break. Come on, why is this animation so slow when it's not sped up? I love that they just physically do not let me do the F-Break fast enough. Ugh. I just want to restart the fight. That should be fine. Okay. Oh, you can't debuff. I love enemies you can't debuff. Such good design. I just like, what's the point? I always think, oh, debuffing stuff is an intrinsic part of these games for 90% of the game. And then suddenly, there's going to be enemies that you just physically can't do anything to, and I think that's cheap. Like, I really, like, it, not cheap in, oh, it's a cheap move, but like cheap in the, it's, I think kind of, feels kind of lazy. Sort of cheap. Ugh. Good gameplay. What level are my characters? Can I even check that? I don't think I can. I guess it's just time to spam Fortuna. To just get as much damage as I can out of this. Oh, such an interesting fight. I mean, they're gonna move, but... Hey. What if... If only I could position it where I want it. On the dead guy. He doesn't have. Oh, nope. Power Smash might be enough AoE. I'm gonna have to restart because I'm not gonna be able to beat this right now. Yeah, I'm gonna restart. Shoot, they can't kill him. Guess I just have to reload. Good gameplay, good gameplay. Great gameplay. Definitely good gameplay. I don't know. It's just not an interesting fight. It's like, oh, they spam AoE attacks. And they have a guard that blocks damage. Like, it's not very interesting. It's like, and because they move so much, you can't AoE them easily. No, I was this way. It's just kind of a weak... oversave that one. And it's like, oh, so fun. Hopefully the sneeze didn't get got. I don't know. Can you do anything useful? No. You're dead weight. I guess I can do this. It's not much healing, but I mean, sure. The Aqua Mirage is probably better, but I want to kill them quickly. Does he have anything useful? Chrono Drive. La Crest. Somewhere I was getting both, wasn't I? Nope. For some reason it's physically impossible to hit both. Good gameplay. Because despite passing through most of his body, it doesn't hit both. Aqua Mirage, again, is probably better. Or more important. But I'm currently playing this from the perspective of if I don't kill them super quick, this will just be a pain. Yeah, I figured he'd not die. This is just not the type of fight that's ever any good. It always just ends up being, hey, kill them as fast as possible, or this will be an absolute pain to deal with. Status all green death. It's so funny to me. No, don't need that. I like the application of English language. Because it's just so, it's interesting from an English speaking perspective. But I imagine it's the same. I assume it's the same from any other perspective of like any French, like actual native French speakers being like, oh hey, this is a French word being used in English and it's being pronounced oddly because it's not French. Though all green sounded like all green, so it wasn't weirdly pronounced. But okay, but on to progress. Admin, Orcus, Harbor, East is all that is remaining. I assume... Ugh, random cutscene. Because I walked too close. That was one heck of a speech. I never expected Qua to go from mayor to our very first president. Yes, because he was not elected as president. He forced his way in. Not to mention all those bold statements he made against Erebonia and Calvard. If they've been feuding in secret within our state, do you suppose that accident back then had something to do with this? With it? Huh? That accident? Down with Erebonia and Calvard! When was the last time anyone ever stood up for Crossbell like that? Compared to President Croix, our diet members are all a pack of domesticated dogs. Sure, a few of them were on the more upstanding side, like Speaker McDowell. We've never had a leader this powerful before. Yeah. Not only that, but he's appointed Crossbell's very own guardian, Arios McLean, as Secretary of Defense. I can't think of a single person better to be at the helm of our state's protection. Again, Cassius Bright would be better, because he has actual military experience. But that's beside the point. Now we'll have nothing to fear except for all the railway guns, yeah! Our independence may not be a pipe dream after all. I'm sure, like, move on. They're just repeating, oh, Mayor Qua's great, Mayor Qua's great. Like, we don't need this many people repeating the same garbage. I'm sure everything will be fine as long as we leave it to Mayor, no, President Qua. Yeah, with him as our leader, we don't have to be afraid of Erebonia or Calvard. Thank you, President Qua. You're our hero, President Qua. I'm just skipping through the rest. It's a waste of time. Okay, now our reaction is reasonable. This is getting out of control. It's not as though I can't understand how they feel, though. Trouble is bound to follow if they become overly zealous. Well, I'm sure the defense force here will have things under control in no time. Anyway, we should go. You know, wait, how far back does that go? Not that far, but pretty far. Look over there. I need to increase the high-speed mode. These, like, sweeping shots that don't actually matter are such a waste of time. They station guys from the CDF in front of the tower, eh? And not just a few of them. This is where Uncle Dieter made his Declaration of Independence. This increase in security is no surprise. Except the security wasn't this tight when he was making the declaration. Is that you, Randy? I kind of hope he's like, get us out of here. It's so sketchy, get us out of here. Yo, Carter. I didn't even recognize you there, all decked out in white. So, they transfer you guys here from Bellegarde? Yeah. They had to move some of us from the border gates to guard the president's address. Loggins is patrolling somewhere around here too. Cool, cool. He was one of Randy's colleagues, right? Yes, I believe they were friends during his time with the CGF. Things have been pretty hectic since all of this went down. The guardsmen were all pretty surprised when we were told to put on these new uniforms. I know what you mean. We had no idea this was coming down the pipes either. They're looking pretty sleek though. Almost like this all has been in the works for a while. Yeah, I'm sure the president has been looking forward to this day. The defense force is hoping to get some equipment upgrades too. We've got to buckle down and prove we deserve it. Huh, right. The Defense Force soldiers seem to be in favor of this turn of events. The CGF had always lacked things most armed forces would have. It's only natural for them to welcome these changes from their perspective. Oh, and in case you hadn't heard, the Defense Force has shaken up the structure of command to be more like other armies on the continent. All current ranks are carrying over, but our day-to-day operations are going to be a lot stricter, like a proper military. I know you were pretty lax about using ranks back in the day, but I don't think that would fly now. Yeah, thanks for the heads up. Wonder if Mira will give me an earful for not calling her second lieutenant next time I see her. Ha. Not that I already haven't been. Guess some things never change. Is getting under her skin all you can think about? Yeah, I don't think you'll have to worry about that anymore. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? You said ranks are carrying over, so she'd still be like a second lieutenant, wouldn't she? That's not what I mean. She quit. There's something you should know, Randy. Mireille... Carter. Watch what you say to outsiders. Yeah, she was put in the brig for thinking this was a bad idea. Yes, sir. Sorry, Randy. I'll have to give you the details some other time. If you don't find out before then, that is. Not sure what's going on, but my bad. Didn't mean to get you chewed out. It's almost like all of them are positive because the ones who dissented might have been thrown in jail. All good, don't worry about it. That reminds me, isn't the police going to be folded into the Defense Force too? We'll be wearing the same uniform again in the near future. How about that? Well, if we're police and we're being part of the Defense Force, we're not technically outsiders, right? So to give us all the details. Oof, that's one more thing to worry about. We should excuse ourselves. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I bet Mireille was like, yo, this is a bad idea. And then they weren't willing to accept that. Oh, hello, everyone. You would be the Special Sports Section, correct? As I'm sure you've heard by now, the CPD is being restructured into a branch of the Crossbell Defense Force. There's currently a meeting taking place on the second floor to outline the system to each of the section chiefs. We ask that you return to your base of operations and remain there until further instructions arrive. Sure. You're still free to move about the first floor, but please refrain from causing a disturbance. If your actions are deemed as suspicious, we will not hesitate to take you into custody. Yeah, it's definitely not a military crackdown. Understood. They're being awfully coercive. Yeah. Don't think any of the others down here are fixing to cross them. It's definitely not a military crackdown. Men from the Defense Force suddenly stormed in here this morning and ordered us to remain on standby. It was all so sudden and confusing. I'm still not sure what we should be doing. You should fight back. I suppose all I really can do is wait for the meeting with the higher-ups to conclude. See, they don't even give me the option to give them the quartz fragment. And I think technically it's great that you can't, because I think in this sort of scenario, you wouldn't give them the quartz fragment because you don't trust the Defense Force. Or I don't trust the Defense Force because it's clearly like a military crackdown trying to force control over to who they want to hand control to. How can they just absorb us into the Defense Force without any prior notice? You didn't hear it from me, but this reeks of tyranny. What the heck's going on here? Well, it's definitely tyranny. Which is a video game. As in there's a video game called Tyranny. I thought we could finally take a break after HQ was repaired. Now we're being absorbed into the Defense Force? Does that make me a soldier? And they expect me to just accept that? See, what they should do is just... Oh, we're being absorbed? I quit. I'm joining the Bracer Guild. The Bracer Guild would probably accept all the people in. Like, any of the combat competent individuals from the police force would probably be accepted into the Bracer Guild. Hey, Lloyd. Real fine pickle we're all in this time, huh? Has the SSS been briefed already? Which I guess the only really competent combatants are like Dudley and the SSS. That's about it. No, not yet. We're waiting for the chief to call and give us the details. Same goes for all of us in the Metropolitan Division. They say we'll be getting an official notification after their meeting, but that doesn't make me any less on edge. Honestly, I can't even begin to guess what's going to happen. I guess all we can do for now is let things take their course. You guys look like you're still operating on your own terms, though, for now. I don't know if that's the best idea, but be careful not to draw attention of the defense force all the same. We know. Thanks, friends. I mean, yeah. Like, I think it would actually be super cool if this story ended with the defense force does take over the police, and, like, she quits because she doesn't want to be part of the defense force. He might stick around, but given that Mireille is probably not part of the defense force, he wouldn't stick around. He would join her and leave. She would go back to Layman State, and Lloyd quits to join the Bracer Guild. That would be a pretty fun ending. Assuming, like, the hostile takeover works. Because this is definitely kind of a semi-hostile takeover of the entire state. Crossbell is now independent. Is it really independent if the countries that it's becoming independent from haven't even slightly agreed to it and are gonna shell the city? Like, you can say it's independent all you want. If there's gonna be a hostile military takeover right after you declare independence, you're not really independent. It's like, at least wait like a month to be like, yeah, we're independent now. Crossbell is now independent, and our first president has assumed office without permission from the city. It's only a matter of time before the entire government is restructured. Hectic days are ahead of us. I mean, if he's working here, he shouldn't really, like, this is a community center now, isn't it? He should really have moved over to Orcus. The cheers outside are so loud that you can hear them clearly even from here. It's almost scary in a way, but I can't quite put my finger on why. Because they're zealots. Like, you don't trust the zealots. I get that everyone's excited, but it's almost scary how eager they sound. I'm glad Chroma is cautious. Honestly, if I were her, I would shut my juice stall down for like a week, assuming I had the financial position to delay, to like take a week or two off. Oh, is he from not Crossbell and that's why he's not here? Or is he up here? I was so shocked by Mr. Qua's address. It's almost too much to believe. Erebonia and Calvert never spared a thought for how their secret feuds would affect us. Is independence the only way to ensure that our children will have a better future? No. I mean, it's probably going to be a better future if it works, but if it sparks a war, it's probably worse for the children. Hey, Mom. What are all those people yelling about outside? So, now we're the independent state of Crossbell. This may finally be the point of no return. I'm anxious about how the two major powers will respond to the announcement. Oh, Lloyd. You caught Mayor Qua's speech, right? I can't believe what I was hearing, especially about the new defense force. Actually, him still calling him Mayor Qua, to me, seems like he isn't in favor. Yeah, I don't think anyone saw that coming. We're in the process of getting more info. For now, stay put and stay alert. No one knows what could happen next, and be prepared to hide. Yeah, that's probably for the best. When life gets you in a tizzy, the first thing you should do is slow down and think. I don't know what this new situation will mean for your squad, Lloyd, but good luck. Thanks, Uncle Miles. Yeah. I mean, at least they would, I guarantee the Bracer Guild wouldn't turn away the SSS. That address was plain foolish. Qua may have everybody else fooled, but not Quine. No siree. State independence this, defense force that. Does he honestly believe we can fend off the threats of two major powers that easily? I think that's a valid complaint. Grandpa told me that this could lead to a war. It's so scary. I hate it. Yeah. This is so sketchy. Like, positioning this in the Harbor District? What can I say? Wearing this new uniform makes me feel battle ready and focused. Is it like a doping uniform? Is the uniform somehow providing drugs to them? I'm ready to give my all for the independent state of Crossbell. I hope he's skeptical. So it's come to this. I'm prepared for whatever happens next. Times like this call for pushing forward, not backwards. I think generally his cart would probably be pulled though. Never go up because you never have reason to, because it always says, oh, don't do that. What the hell is going on? Just like that, we're independent? Things are happening way too fast. Can't expect this is gonna end well. Still, the damage is done. Reason to think about it won't change that. Now that we're in this mess, we'd better prepare for the worst. I might be a war correspondent by the end of the week. Yeah, like technically, if Crossbell declares they're independent, they are independent, but functionally, it won't matter until the war that's probably about to break out is over. Because if by the end of the war, Crossbell's split in half between the two major powers, not so independent now. We had a bit of a scare when a CDF soldier stopped by this morning. The referendum was only a week ago. Everything's changing so quickly, and not for the better. We've gone out of the frying pan and into the fire, as it were. They'll complain? Yep. I was hoping they'd be like, oh, you can go up now, to be like, oh, there's a CDF soldier rummaging through stuff and redacting info. Hey, gang. You all saw the president's address, right? Yeah. Thanks for contacting us about it. What does the CNS plan to do now? Cover the story at the very least. We'll try to question the defense force and see if we can squeeze any details out of them. We'll want to hear what the citizens have to say about all of this, too. Then there's getting in touch with the foreign press to see how the news is being received everywhere else. Our international transceiver upstairs is going to be burning up the lines. Understandably so. You two have a long day ahead of you. When don't we? I'm sure it's no walk in the park for you either. So let's give it everything we've got. Definitely. Yeah. Sure, the announcement caught me off guard. But unless we stand up for ourselves, Airboni and Calvard will just keep pushing us around. That's why President Croix has my full support. As long as we have Secretary McLean, there's no way we can't win. That is the most misplaced confidence in the world. Like, he's good and all, but, like, he's not that good. I wonder if it was premature of Mr. Croix to declare independence. Probably. For the state and not for his personal plans. I'm prepared to accept that change. That change is a natural part of the world, of course, but even so. Then again, with the position Crossbell had been pushed into, perhaps it wasn't so premature as it was overdue. Something troubled me about Croix's address. Why wasn't Speaker McDowell with him? Would you happen to have any information on the matter, Ellie? I'm afraid not, Chairman Morris. I've been worrying over the same thing myself. Come on, make an assumption. Say, I bet he disagreed, and so he was not allowed. I see. That's rather disconcerting. Regardless, there's no turning back now. Conflict with the Empire and Republic is inevitable at this point. I may have to call an emergency Business Owners Association meeting to account for this. Ugh. Okay. Fisherman's Guild is new. Is Lake Lord here? Ugh, he left because he's a sore loser. Phew. Home sweet home. Still, this whole independence deal totally blindsided me. Right when I thought things were returning to normal too. What's going to happen to us now? So, the state's independent now, huh? Crossbell's bad blood with Arabonia almost mirrors our own with the Imperial Fishing Club. Maybe it was fated to be. Wow, President Quash sure is bold. I get where he's coming from, but I can't help but be anxious over how Crossbell's going to come out of all this. It's just my luck that the city would go up in arms right when guild activities resumed. Maybe I should go back to Armorica. Hey, that's cool. I bet she was a character that was regularly fishing at that fishing spot, because I think I do remember someone with blonde hair near the fishing spot on the dock in Armorica. Yeah. So this is going to be my secondary save for this day. Don't enter there yet. I called my hubby and told him to get his butt back to Crossbell ASAP. Come tomorrow, all train services are going to be suspended indefinitely. I actually think the right call here for her, ditch the city, leave, never come back. Fingers crossed he makes it home in time. Exciting stuff, right? We're independent. It's just like every character that says we're independent, like it means anything when it's about to start a war, is weird. Like, cause, oh, we're independent, but we're about to be attacked by two major powers, both of which are many times bigger than us, and our only chance of winning is if we have Ouroboros on our side. Like, Ouroboros can carry a state to victory because they're the ultimate secret society, but like, I wish they would stop having every character say we're independent. And we have our first president. Hardly feels real, especially when the president instated himself. Overall, I'm happy about it. But who knows if that'll still be the case down the line. Yeah, like, I don't know. Here we are, the independent state of Crossbell. That's something worth celebrating. I don't think Lily agrees, though. She's been frowning all morning. What's there to be worried about? War? Arabonia and Calvert have already stopped exporting goods to Crossbell. According to President Qual, though, we have enough emergency provisions to last us 5 years. Definitely good logic of, yeah, we can survive on food that will last for 5 years. Totally. Like, nothing fresh could possibly last that long if it's emergency provisions. Still, anyone selling fresh vegetables, meaning us, needs to come up with a business strategy, and fast. Dins can't seem to get that through his head. I wish he'd get his act together. Just start growing, like, turn him into a vegetable farm. It's the brother and sister. Complicated stuff like this always flies right over my head. Did Crossbell make the right choice or not? I wouldn't know either way. It's the brother and sister. Being square in Arabonia and Calvert's sights is a terrifying feeling. Still, this is all for the good of Crossbell's future. We'll just have to dig deep and prepare for the worst. And no matter what happens, I swear I'll keep Mei Ling safe. See, you have to respect Roy and Mei Ling. Roy asked me to help him today. He made 3 of these spinny toys, too. I hope people buy them. It's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. It's like kind of cheap, but it's cute. I don't even like kids. They're annoying in reality, but like the cheap W's, it perfectly captures cute. in a cheap way. After all this time, Crossbell has finally gained its independence. Like, I think this line here perfectly captures my issue with everyone's, oh, we're independent now. Crossbell has finally gained its independence, as though they couldn't declare independence at any point before. Like, declaring that they're independent doesn't mean that the state will be happy. It just means that a war is about to break out. Probably. Like, we didn't gain independence, we declared independence. And that independence hasn't been protected yet. So it's still not gained. It's been declared. It feels like I'm watching history being written before my very eyes. Yep. The beginning of the Great Crossbell War of, I don't know what year it is. I don't care what year it is. It's those two. They are relevant characters. That's the relevant character. Oh, happy family. And he's gonna be leaving. I'm scheduled to leave Crossbell today. As I didn't have much time to pack, I couldn't fit this book anywhere. You can take it if you would like. I think I'm missing like 5 books by now. I guess that's the last one I got was 8. Oh, I actually did get 10. I'm missing 9, 5, and 6. I wonder where 9 was. Left only to scream. No, I didn't mean to open that. I'm not reading it because I'm lazy. And I don't have all the books, so it wouldn't make sense. Mr. Marcy is leaving Crossbell today. I'm going to miss him. You've known him for all of, like, 3 months at most. Which, I mean, for a kid, that's actually a pretty long time. Yeah. My only wish is for Crossbell to be a peaceful place again. As long as my family is safe, that's all I could ever ask for. By now, Erebony and Calvard must be thoroughly provoked. I can only imagine the danger Crossbell might face soon. But no matter what happens, I'll protect my family with my life. See, now these are people that I like. Maybe they're not prioritizing the state, they're prioritizing themselves, but like, they're not, it's independent, and that's only a good thing. It's, we've declared independence, and it's gonna be rough, but I'm gonna keep my family safe. It's like, they have their priorities clearly in line of family is important to them, and that's nice. I'm sure Mr. Qua was able to accept things for how they appeared. Crossbell's been the victim of so many injustices, so many tragedies that we could only force ourselves to turn a blind eye to. Even my husband was... Pardon? Sorry, ignore me. Yeah, it's like... What's an independent? That's what everyone's saying Crossbell is now. I wish I could ask Sister Marble. She'd probably know. Your sister probably knows too. I've heard rumors of those so-called inexplicable incidents the president mentioned in his speech. Turns out Erebony and Calvard were the ones behind them. Ooh, we have no proof. But believe us. Like, it's probably true that a lot of them were. But again, there's been no proof. And literally everyone is lapping it up. They were behind them. It really puts the fear of Eidos in you. Now that I know the truth, I'm all for us being independent. Don't lap up the propaganda. You have no reason to trust something that doesn't have any proof. Admittedly, a lot of it probably was, and maybe it's just me, but it feels like if you weren't suspicious of those events being caused by them, then I think you're kind of crazy. But who's this guy? Okay, I'm gonna be... Music can skip for a second, but pause the recording to produce me real quick, sorry. So the audio skipped as I mentioned. But now it's to the Bracer Guild. Pardon us. Sorry for interrupting. That music change was weird. I like the music. mainly the title of the music. Wow, look who the cat dragged in. Oh, hey there, SSS. Are they trying to force the Bracer Guild out of Calvard? Not Calvard, Crossbell? Sheesh, if you guys clenched any harder, you'd snap yourselves in two. Normally I'd tell you to mind your own damn business, but there's no denying it today. Why would Arios just up and leave us? I'm still in shock. Never once did I suspect he'd do something like this. I suppose the only real hint was that he'd been visiting Orcus Tower more frequently lately. Right? I thought he was just going there to discuss the guild's game plans for the future. Instead, he was off rubbing elbows and shaking hands with his employer-to-be. Actually, that's what we came here to talk about. Is Arya still considered a member of the guild? No. He suddenly handed in his resignation last night, along with his bracer badge. In typical Arios fashion, he finished up all of his requests just prior. He even included an outline of how the guild should proceed going forward. I wouldn't follow that outline. It might still be well-intentioned, but as prepared as ever. Arios did always seem to be a methodical man. Still, his resigning without notice is more than just a minor inconvenience for us. What's more, he's been instated as the state's Secretary of Defense, the Commander-in-Chief of the newly formed Crossbell Defense Force. It terrifies me to think of what Airboni's response to this will be, especially considering the message the government sent them by freezing their international assets. Right. Calvard's reaction will be no less frightening. You can be sure of that. Still, it's not like I don't understand the way Arios feels about all this. Scott? What's that supposed to mean? Well, Crossbound blood runs through my veins, just like his. Those inexplicable incidents mentioned in the address used to happen several times a year. That much is a fact. I don't know what the truth is, but deep down, every citizen in the state suspects the Empire or the Republic is behind them. Well, to be fair, there haven't been any accidents like that in some time. I think the last was 5 years ago, the one Shizuku and Saya, Arios' wife, were caught up in. By accident, do you mean the truck explosion from half a decade ago? The prevailing theory is that the orbital engine malfunctioned, igniting flammable cargo on board, but it never did sit right. As a result of the accident, poor Saya lost her life, and little Shizuku her sight. So that's how it happened, huh? We have heard small portions of this story already, but the entirety of it is hard to take in. That must be why Arios quit the CPD and took up the supporting gauntlet. I've come to know Arios quite well since he joined the guild, and yet he never mentioned a word about the incident. It must have been weighing on him all these years. Taking that into account, I can see why he accepted such an important position. But I mean, if it was purely well-intentioned and not meant to be a sudden shift to take advantage of the confusion, he would have talked about it beforehand, in at least some manner, to at least Michelle. It's clearly meant to take advantage of the sudden confusion. Michelle, forgive me for asking, but have you noticed anything suspicious about Arios' schedule up until now? Huh? What do you mean, Lloyd? Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Force. A heavy responsibility like that isn't the sort of thing you just agree to on a whim. Wouldn't it make more sense if he'd been laying the groundwork with Mayor, or rather President, Kwa this entire time? This could go back further than we realize. The last few weeks, maybe even more. It's almost like Michelle literally a few sentences ago said this right here. I suppose the only real hint was that he'd been visiting Orca's tower more frequently lately. Right. I thought he was just going there to discuss the guild's game plan for the future. Instead, he was off rubbing elbows with and shaking hands with his employer-to-be. The phrasing here implies that that's longer than a few days. Like... But anyway, this could go back further than we realize. The last few weeks. Maybe even more. I just bumped stuff. Apologies. ... Michelle. That sigh. Are you saying he's right? It's true that there were occasional conflicts of location in his reports. Oh yeah, like exactly when he went to the graveyard, we talked to him there, and then he disappeared from the graveyard and wasn't at the Bracer Guild afterwards. I figured they were just human error, considering the absurd number of requests he was handling. But now that I think about it, he isn't the type to make those kinds of mistakes so carelessly. So each of those times, he was actually meeting with President Kwa? That's a pretty safe assumption at this point. Honestly, Lloyd, your detective skills are so on the nose it's almost scary. It's totally a detective skill, and not saying, hey, he probably didn't decide on a whim, so he probably interacted with the mayor a bunch. Like, trash writing. Justify his detective skills by having him actually be an impressive detective. Thanks. Although I'm sorry if I'm putting Arius in a bad light here. But while I'm at it, I may as well ask you another point-blank question. It's about the discrepancies between Arius' schedule and the locations he reported. Do you remember any instances of that from more than half a year ago? Why that far back specifically? Wouldn't that be even earlier than when Mr. Kwa became mayor? Well, I doubt my memory is that good, but... Oh, you know, there was this one time. When exactly? It was the final day of the anniversary festival. He was supposed to travel to Remferia on official guild business. But he suddenly cancelled at the last second, and he didn't even bother to notify us. Really? I pressed him on the issue once I finally caught wind of it, but all he told me was that he'd been too busy to make a report. Why do you ask, though? Do you think it could be related? I don't know about that. The anniversary festival is probably the busiest time of year for us. It would be perfectly understandable to overlook a single report. But, like, the thing that he's overlooking isn't the report, it's the not going to Remferia. The last day of the anniversary festival. That was the day of the auction. You two think they're connected? I don't know yet, but my gut is telling me they are. We've been so busy that we've let too many fine details pass us by. Sorry, I have to take this. Speakerphone it. Do it. Crossbell Police Department, Special Sports Set. Huh? I don't recognize this voice. Huh? Don't you mean Crossbell Defense Force, Special Support Section? Is this who I think it is? Hahaha. Oh, it's Cow. Who could the mysterious man on the phone possibly be? Guess right, and you could win yourself our grand prize. A shiny, brand new... I've had enough of your pointless shenanigans. What are you doing back in Crossbell? If it's not Cow, who could it be? Ah, don't be like that. I thought we were pals. I know things have been going off the rails, but you can spare some time to chat in person, can't you? It doesn't sound like Cow. I'm sure it'll be worth your while. Fine. Where do you want to meet? How about Crimson & Co., aka the former Ravache compound? Let's rendezvous at the Don's old office. The basement, then. Got it. See you there, buddy. I still think it's Cow, right? Was that Cow? Has he come out of hiding? He did contact us last time, after Randy went missing. Wait, seriously? It wasn't him. Who could it be, though? I can't think of names. It could be, the former secretary of Speaker McDowell? Captain... Oh, Lecter. No wonder I didn't recognize his voice. It fit his character, though. It was Captain Arundel of the Imperial Army. What? Him again? You were right to ask what he's doing coming back to Crossbell. Nothing good, that's for sure. He's got balls showing his face around here again. He said he wanted to speak with us at the old Ravache compound. Given his ties to the Red Constellation, we can't be too careful. Still, I think it's in our best interest to hear him out. Guess so. The risk is worth it. I do think we should fully prepare ourselves before going, though. You kids never slow down, do you? Sounds like you have a real piece of work on your hands. We should really bring one bracer with us, but... Lecter Arundel of the Intelligence Division. From what I hear, he's a thorn in just about everyone's sides. You can always call us if you end up needing backup. Lynn's right. We still have a debt to repay from the wetlands. We appreciate it. We'll be sure to get in touch if it comes to that. I mean, what we should do is go into the meeting with trying to secretly have our enigmas on speakerphone and having it being sent to the Bracer Guild. Because we trust them. They're good people. I wonder how Remphiria is going to respond to Crossbell's declaration of independence. Prince Albert is a wise man, so he'll surely put what's best for his people first. I'd better touch base with St. Ursula about this. The guild is going to need to figure out how to handle the situation as well. Crossbell and blood runs through my veins too, so I get how Arius feels. Still, I didn't think he'd resign from the guild for something like this. Brooding over it won't change anything though. Now that he's gone, the rest of us bracers need to pick up the slack. I can't believe Arius was fudging his schedule to meet with the mayor, or president, whatever. I noticed his reports were a little funky here and there, yet I still let it happen right under my nose. He must have been hung up on that accident Saya and Shizuku were caught in all this time. I won't mince words. The Empire isn't going to hold its tongue after a dress like that. They are almost certainly planning to retaliate, that is, if they haven't already begun to do so. Arundel's call to the SSS pertains to that somehow, more likely than not. Yeah, Calvard's probably taking the same steps up over on their end too. And who knows where the church stands in all this. We need to make sure we're ready for anything. I really enjoy them mentioning the church, because it's good foreshadowing from what I'm pretty sure is going to happen with some characters that exist. They won't let me leave, right? Good. To Ravache. Where's Ravache? Ravache is back alley. Into Ravache I go. There's no one posted here anymore. I imagine the department had the foresight to lock up the building before they left. In other words, our favorite fly on the wall probably picked the lock when he got here, or he had a spare key. Never mind that, we should head inside. Because I mean, it wouldn't be weird if Crimson & Co. gave him a key, because, I don't know, they helped bankroll this purchase, or they helped facilitate it. Darn. Darn. I mean, yeah, he should be further ahead. Watch your step. It's time to find out what this is all about. I'm actually currently on the side of... I'm pretty sure he's basically going to say, nah, we had nothing to do with it. To about everything. I really hope there's not an archaism here. That'd be so weird. Yep. Behind this door, Lecter Arundel, captain of the Imperial Army's Intelligence Division. We have to be careful about what we do and say about around him. It's best that we be prepared before going in. Once you proceed into this room, you will not be able to buy items, adjust equipment, or change your orbits for some time. Be aware that any outstanding support requests will expire as well. I'm going to... I'm probably going to have to stop here. But if I can't change equipment, I'll just double check. I would switch this. You know, I want her to have... Like, this is fun, but it's probably better to have... Actually, what was Fishing Emperor? Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to put that on Ellie. Yeah, Ellie's going to take this one. I'm going to switch one of the still blues to a auto CP. Auto CP up. And switch the Mishi hat for a still blue. If I need to swap it and go for like pure damage on one unit, I will, but this is not a good build. I'm 100% certain this is a bad build, but I think it's funny. Okay, so I have 10, 30, 40% from these. 60% from that. Yeah, I do need the evergreens to get to 100%. It's really not a good one to have two of. Because, like... Ah, yes, I should equip Ocean's Edge. I must be missing something. Because apparently you can do it with... you can get... maybe it's just, 95 is good enough. But... I wonder if there's a better one. Silver Orcus metal is actually not garbage. Like, this one's pretty bad. This one's pretty bad. This one's pretty bad. And the only reason they're bad is because they actually have negatives, whereas most don't have negatives. I probably should give him actually, like, not trash quartz. I could swap the Impede, which is 4-2. Like, the Impede's pretty good, but it's not 100% chance, so it's not great. This has similar stats, but without the wind. What would I want to give him if I could swap? Like, if I had Shackle as well, can I get... I get some of these, which is not bad. And he gets Calamity Claw. Kind of nice. Having multiple people with Calamity Claw is pretty good. Mostly, like, if I don't want to use... I can use Calamity Claw on him, because other than that, he's going to be using crafts. He's doing whatever. He's rarely going to use arts, because otherwise he can't counterattack. But he's going to do, like, Holy Breath if he needs to. Earth Pulse is a waste. And I'm aware that I probably should get Adamantine Guard. Because Adamantine Guard is, like, busted. Like, 8-3 to get physical immunity times 1. Really good. And saying that, 8-3 is pretty easy to get. Like, I can just swap this to anything that gives space, and I'll be good. Like, boom. Easy. I mean, the hit wouldn't be terrible. It wouldn't be good, but it wouldn't be terrible. Anything that gives what I'm looking for. It's either Voice Breaker or Hit 3. Let's just go Hit 3. I don't think... Yeah, I don't really benefit from hit 3. I do get Adamantine Guard now. But purely quartz numbers... Voice Breaker's good enough for arts, and the effect is, I think, a little bit better. Like, he can use Fortuna, he can Adamantine Guard if I'm desperate. Anyway, I'm not going to go in here yet. Because it's gonna be long. It's gonna be at least an hour is my assumption. Of course, sometimes it might just be half an hour, but it's gonna be a long time, so I'm gonna stop here and leave that for next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.